Hello and welcome to my channel. I am going to show you a technique that I'm going to try. It's the Cloud technique by MelyD. I'm attempting to do this with some Artist Loft white paint, and I'm mixed with my Liquitex prime medium. And I mix that up and I add a little bit of water for consistency. And then I add the good stuff, which is the Decoart white enamel. And I add that to it. Now I'm mixing the yellow Oxide by Liquitex with the 2 parts Floetrol and 1 part paint with water, and just getting it to consistency so that everything is at the same thickness or thinness. Now I am very new to doing fluid art. This is definitely something that has been on my heart and has actually really opened up not really my senses, but it's like when I'm driving around, I can't stop figuring out how can I paint that, or what colors would it take to get there. The pink color from Master's Touch Hobby Lobby is one that I'm also putting into this formula or painting composition. Didn't really show up in the end results. So now I'm starting to layer my colors, and I did start with the white enamel and then the burnt sienna, and then that pink color from Master's Touch, and then the Oxide yellow. And then I go back with the white, and I just want to make sure I have enough layers and go back and forth with it. I'm going to speed it up a little bit so this isn't getting too boring. And tell me what you think of the colors. Right now I'm just learning and playing around with different things that I think might work. And usually the end result surprises me every time. So I'm curious to know what other people think. Is the color scheme I'm using even the right color scheme? The end results was actually pretty good. So now I'm just doing my base paint, in which is the just regular white with 3 parts Floetrol. And it may not be the correct consistency, but that's what I've been using. And I'm just putting it as base to make it a lot easier for the paint to start to move around. And I do apologize if you're hearing any weird noises on my speaker. I'm not sure why. I'm trying to figure out how to make that noise stop. So here I am just, pouring it out. I'm doing a straight pour, dirty pour. I'm not doing any type of rings or anything. I really wanted to see how this would come out without doing any type of rings. I was really surprised as the colors were hitting the canvas on how the yellow, it seemed like it changed colors a lot. It wasn't as yellow as it was on the canvas. It actually became this really pretty color. You'll see in a moment when I start to move it around and stretch it out. But yeah, the end result sort of reminds me of the inside of a crystal or even a rock. I live in Arizona, so some people said it reminded them of the desert. So I was really excited with the end results. Basically, I just did the torch, and I'm letting it sit for a moment so that I was hoping that the clouds I was wanting to see were going to start surfacing. Obviously, that did not happen. If you go to MelyD's channel, she is amazing on her clouds. It's just shocking. I can't stop watching her videos. So I'm going to keep trying the technique, and I may have to just keep tweaking it to how it works for myself. But as you can see, as I'm stretching it, you'll notice a lot of the pink disappears. It's really fascinating, actually. And I end up on the sides, the edges, you'll see a lot of that pink goes away. So I'm torching it again. You know, I stretch it out a little bit, torching it, getting the air bubbles out before I really start, you know, stretching it out again. So again, I was just letting it sit. I wanted to give it time. In all honesty, I was hoping that if I let it sit for a while, the clouds would start surfacing. I ended up obviously giving up on that idea when I realized it just wasn't happening. So I don't know if I'm moving the paint too fast or if I'm not stirring it enough. I mean, it sort of looks like right there they're surfacing, but it really wasn't. When you could see in person, it wasn't surfacing at all. But I really love that metal because it almost makes it look like a petrified piece of wood. If you ever gotten a polished petrified wood, you would notice it looks a lot like this. And so that's what I really liked. Also, there are certain type of crystals where it would also look like this as well with the edge like that. So I was really excited about the way it turned out. Now, as I let it sit, the area where I'm pointing to, the bubbles that were coming up was starting to turn the paint white. And you'll notice in a few minutes it gets whiter and whiter, and I really was not liking that because it ruined that whole corner of what I wanted it to do. And it could be that I was torching it, and that's why. You'll notice in a couple seconds. So I end up stretching it a little bit more. I still try to keep that corner, but I just wasn't liking the white part of the canvas coming through, the white paint. It was really bothering me. So if you have any tips on how to make that not happen, maybe it's just not torching it, let me know in the comments below. So I'm just fixing the corners, trying to get that right composition that I was looking for. And this is when it sort of, in my opinion, became perfect. I really liked this end result right here because you still have the corners and you could just still see that really beautiful color. It almost looked like the clouds was starting to come through on that lower left hand corner. Definitely didn't come through like I've seen in other people's videos, and it's obviously I just had to play around with the technique. But yeah, I really like this. So I'm going to bring the camera in so I can show you a lot closer. So stay tuned. So here's a close-up of that corner, and you can sort of see the cloud somewhat coming through. And there's the rest of the composition. There's the middle that really looks like the inside of a tree or a rock or a crystal. It was really incredible. There's that other corner that I really like. So yeah, I mean, if you just look at it all together, it looks incredible. And here is the dry results. I have not varnished it yet, but I will be. I want to give a close-up to how it dried. It looks incredible. Look at that. One person today told me it reminded them of the desert. I do live in Phoenix, Arizona. To me, it reminds me of the inside of a crystal, or even a petrified wood. So yeah, anyways, this is the final results. Thank you for watching, and let me know what you think. And